What if I told you that someone could fine you for the color of your mailbox, or even take your home over unpaid fees? Imagine buying your dream house in America, beautiful neighborhood, clean streets, perfect lawns, only to discover you're being watched, regulated, and charged for things you didn't even know were rules. Most homeowners sign the paperwork without reading the fine print. And that's exactly where the real story begins. Because behind those peaceful suburban streets lies a system with surprising power, one that can control what you build, what you park, and sometimes, whether you stay. This is the truth about HOAs, and what they don't tell you. Imagine finally buying your dream home. You've worked for years, saved money, sacrificed vacations, skipped luxuries, and now, you're standing in front of a beautiful house with a manicured lawn, quiet streets, friendly neighbors, and a sign at the entrance that reads, "Welcome to Oakwood Estates, a private community." Everything looks perfect, but what they don't tell you is that when you buy the house, you're not just buying property, you're buying into power, and that power belongs to the HOA. When Sarah and Michael moved into their new home in suburban Texas, they were excited. The neighborhood was clean, organized, and peaceful. The real estate agent told them, "The HOA just keeps everything looking nice. It protects your property value." It sounded reasonable. $350 a month in HOA fees didn't seem too bad. After all, it covered landscaping for common areas, a community pool, and neighborhood security. But 3 weeks after moving in, they received their first letter, a violation notice. Their trash can was visible from the street. They thought it was a mistake. It was only out for a few hours after pickup day. They paid no attention. Then came another letter. Their mailbox color was not compliant with community standards. Another fine, $75. Then another notice. Their grass was 0.5 inches above the allowed height. That's when they realized this wasn't just about keeping things nice. This was control. Here's what most people don't understand about HOAs in America. When you buy into an HOA community, you sign a legally binding contract called CC&RS, covenants, conditions, and restrictions. And those rules can be extremely detailed. They can regulate the color of your house, the type of fence you install, or whether you can park in your driveway, the kind of plants in your yard, or holiday decorations, or even what kind of curtains you hang. In some communities, you can't even install solar panels without approval. And if you don't follow the rules, they can fine you. And if you don't pay, they can put a lien on your home. In extreme cases, they can foreclose. Yes, an HOA can legally force the sale of your home over unpaid fines. Most people never imagine that's possible. Let's talk about power. HOAs are usually run by a board of homeowners, your neighbors, volunteers. But once elected, they hold significant authority. And sometimes, that power can be misused. There have been cases across the U.S. where HOA boards target specific homeowners, or enforce rules inconsistently, or increase fees without transparency, spend community funds irresponsibly. In Florida alone, there have been lawsuits involving millions of dollars in mismanaged HOA funds. But here's the thing most buyers don't realize. You don't negotiate HOA rules. You either accept them, or you don't buy the house. Now, to be fair, not all HOAs are bad. Some communities genuinely benefit from them. They maintain shared spaces, keep neighborhoods visually appealing, and can prevent neglect that drags down property values. In certain areas, homes in HOA communities sell faster and at higher prices. But here's the hidden cost. Freedom. In a non-HOA neighborhood, you own your home. In an HOA community, you own your home, but under supervision. Want to paint your door bright red? Submit a request. Want to build a shed? Submit plans. Want to rent out your property on Airbnb? It might be prohibited entirely. And here's another surprise. HOA fees can increase. There's no fixed guarantee. If the community pool needs repairs or the roof of shared buildings needs replacement, residents may face special assessments, one-time charges that can reach thousands of dollars. Imagine receiving a $5,000 bill because the board voted to renovate the clubhouse. That happens. Let's go back to Sarah and Michael. 6 months into living in Oakwood Estates, they wanted to install a small playground set in their backyard for their daughter. They submitted the required forms. They waited. 2 weeks later, denied. The structure was too visible from neighboring properties. They tried appealing, denied again. That's when they realized something important. They didn't truly control their own property. Eventually, they adapted. They followed the rules, paid the fees, attended meetings. And that's another thing people don't tell you. If you live in an HOA community and don't attend meetings, you have no voice. Decisions are made by those who show up. Most residents don't, which means a small group of people can shape the entire neighborhood's future. So why do HOAs exist in the first place? Originally, they were designed to maintain uniformity and protect real estate investments. Developers create them before selling homes to ensure a consistent look and shared responsibility. Over time, especially in states like Florida, Texas, Arizona, and California, HOAs became extremely common. Today, over 70 million Americans live in HOA communities. That's more than 1 in 5 people. This isn't rare. It's mainstream. So what's the real truth? HOAs are not evil, but they are powerful. And power without awareness is dangerous. Before buying into an HOA, you should read the CC&IS carefully, review the financial statements, check if there are ongoing lawsuits, or look at how often fees increase, talk to current residents, or ask about special assessments, and understand rental restrictions. Because once you sign, you're committed, and leaving isn't simple. You can't opt out. You'd have to sell your home. At the end of the day, an HOA community offers structure, predictability, and aesthetic control, but it also requires compromise. The American dream has always been about owning your own piece of land and doing what you want with it. HOAs reshape that dream into something more regulated. For some, that's comforting. For others, it feels restrictive. The key isn't fear, it's awareness. Because what they don't tell you when you fall in love with that perfect house is that you're not just choosing a home. You're choosing a system. And once you're inside that system, it has rules. If you're thinking about buying in an HOA community, ask yourself, are you comfortable trading a little freedom for structure? There's no right or wrong answer. But now you know the truth.